What's up, guys? It's Professor Gnome, and today we're looking at Scovillain EX and the twin-headed crushing attack. It only does 140, which isn't too incredible, but what it does do is it discards a random card from our opponent's hand and discards the top card of our opponent's deck, so it can become extremely disruptive. And what we're going to do is we're going to combo that together with a lot of different pieces, like Grabber, being able to remove a card from our opponent's hand and like put it at the bottom of their deck. So really limiting them there. We have Crushing Hammer to remove energies and continue the disruption. We also run a Pokemon League headquarters in order to disrupt any single prizer decks, things like Future Hands, Future Box, all those kind of different variations. Ancient decks, it really hits pretty hard as well. So we're going to be able to counter decks that way. And then we also run Eri in order to remove things like rare candies from Charizard EX and really cripple them that way. Alongside also running things like Misfortune Sisters, and we also run Judge, Iono, things like that. Just we're looking to disrupt our opponent as much as we possibly can, and really limit their options. One thing you can do in this deck is a change, just to recommend, is I run Hero's Cape because I think it's better, generally speaking, for all matchups. But if you're really looking just to make sure that you're defeating Charizard EX and completely countering it and just shutting it down every time you face it, then running Max Belt is probably better, since you'll be able to one-shot Charizards consistently without much of an issue. Because without it, you're only hitting for 280. But I think that Hero's Cape is just overall better for all the other matchups that aren't Charizard, like Charizard EX. But yeah, so that's the overview of the deck, guys. Definitely let me know what you think of the list, or any changes that you would make, or any alterations. Don't forget to do all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, all that kind of stuff. And definitely let me know what you want to see next on the channel. But before we get into the game, I want to do like a small little couple announcements. We're coming up to 500 subs in the relative future, so thank you guys for everything. I really appreciate it. But aside from that, I saw a channel. I have no idea if like they stream or something like that. But the channel is called Voidin Pokemon. It's the production value on it actually goes crazy. The editing on it, everything like that, super cool. So I highly recommend checking them out if you don't already know about them or haven't already seen them or whatever. Just wanted to give a shout out to them. I'm going to link their channel page in the description. And as the last part of the shout outs and all that kind of stuff, any deck lists that I have here, they're always in the description below. I know that some people have missed that. So if you're ever looking for the deck list, it's in the description. You can always find it there. Just copy and paste it over to import it easier. But yeah, definitely check out that other channel. I know that we're not the biggest channel here. We're still very small. But I want to kind of, my goal one day is to be in a position that I can kind of give shout outs to other channels and things like that. And so I kind of want to get started on that. I think it's really cool. We have a small little community here that we're building that I'm pretty proud of, so I'd love to be able to share that support with other creators and stuff like that. So if you have the time or you're interested, definitely check them out. But yeah, we'll get into the next game in a moment. See you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into the first game, and we won the coin flip. We decided to go first. We're going to open our Skwovet, and we're probably... Alright, so we are up against Future Hands. That's not terrible for us. We have the Switch. We can kind of get ourselves set up into some sort of position here. What we're going to like to do... unfortunately, we may need to just leave Skwovet out to get KO'd, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. They open Iron Hands, which is okay for us, but it tells us they probably don't have a better Pokemon in hand, but we're going to discard everything anyway, so let's just see what they have to work with. They have Research, Arven, Iono. Alright, so they can Arven. Alright, so that's not terrible for us. We'll go ahead and grab Chespakid and a Bidoof. We'll attach the energy onto our Chespakid. We will Nest Ball. grab ourselves Squawkabilly EX. Then what we can actually do here, we can choose to let Skwovet get knocked out, which is honestly not the worst thing in the world. It definitely sucks that we're going to have Squawkabilly on the field that is kind of a liability later. But what we're actually going to choose to do is we're going to go ahead and Nest Stash here. So that way we don't lose all these cards. And now we can Squawk and get ourselves something new. And that's actually pretty good. So we can play down the Pokemon headquarters. We can Buddy Poffin here for another Chespakid. And we'll grab ourselves a second Bidoof just in case. We don't really want this getting bossed up. And from there, we can pass our turn. If this gets knocked out, it's okay. We have the convenience factor of Pokemon League headquarters is going to make it so even if they go into Miraidon, they won't have a way to actually attack us since it'll require 2 energies. So there's Arven. They're probably going to grab like the ring and another booster energy capsule. Since that way they'll be able to get, yeah, there's the ring, or the radar rather, and the capsule. They'll probably discard the Iono. Oh, or the Pokegear, that makes sense. That's the underrated thing about Grabber, is even if you don't get a Pokemon, right? It's totally fine because it lets you see your opponent's hand and kind of plan around that. So now they can go Miraidon, attach the capsule to it, retreat out, go into Miraidon, but they still can't attack me. That was a choice. Can't say I fully agree with that one. Alright. So what our play here is that we're going to go Pal Pad. We'll discard the Judge and the Buddy Poffin, since we don't really need those. We can grab ourselves the Bibarel, place this down, and then from here we can Pal Pad back in both Judges, since we may need those later. Skwovet our hand away. Since we don't really need this, we may as well get ourselves one more card that we could use. Crushing Hammer, that works for me. If we get it, great. If we don't, we don't. We do, massive. And then what we can do here is Industrial Incisors. We're able to get ourselves our Scovillain EX, our piece, and then what we could do here is actually Iono, get ourselves a new hand, potentially get the Switch and cause some more disruption. But I'd rather not. We know that they don't have too much. We know that they could research on this turn and look for pieces, but if Skwovet gets knocked out, we don't really care. They're not really going to have a way to do too much. So they have to research away the Iono and the boss. They find another energy. Really, the only thing that we're worried about is if they're able to clear the Pokemon League headquarters, which unfortunately they are. But that's not too bad for us, actually. Since what we can do on our following turn is we can grab ourselves our Hero's Belt and go from there. The peak acceleration is going to knock us out. But what we'll be able to do is, like, they're still short on energy. So even if we come in and we knock this out, they're going to be able to bring in Iron Hands, but not actually be able to do too much with it. We'll Crushing Hammer here. If we hit, great. If we don't, we don't. Unfortunately, we don't, but, like, again, doesn't really matter all too much. What we can actually do here is we can... Alright, so let's Town Store first, get ourselves our Hero's Cape. Make it so we're really at no big threat of any, like, actual problems happening. Then what we can do is we'll Judge here to limit their hand a little bit more. We'll get to see what they have. We can Grabber. So it's double research, double energy. We can Buddy Poffin. Grab ourselves one more Chespakid just in case we need that. We'll Industrial Incisors. Alright, cool. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of this. We'll hold on to the boss's orders. We probably won't need this anymore. We can get rid of that. Grab ourselves double energy and start to set up our next Chespakid. And we'll attack here. Unfortunately, we aren't. It's not going to matter too much. We got rid of one research. We did get rid of another capsule, though. That's pretty big. We'll take one prize. Alright. Chespakid's not really that exciting. But they have one energy in hand, but that's not going to be enough to, like, actually attack with. Or, I mean, they can arm press, but that's not going to be that much of a threat. If we can get a, if we can get another Crushing Hammer and remove the electric energy, that would actually be massive. They got rid of the other baton, their other Iono. The redraw. We're going to be able to Iono them on the following turn. The generator is pretty annoying. Alright, so they are in range. There's the Nest Ball. I assume... Oh, okay. That's a good play on their part. They're going to be able to come in, amp you very much, take us, take 2 prize cards. We'll give up the extra Bidoof. That's definitely annoying. That was a good play on their part, though. Nope, just move. I don't need to inspect it. Alright, so what we'll be able to do, we can attach the energy here. We'll Ultra Ball away this and one of these. Get ourselves our other Scovillain EX. Now what we can do, though, conveniently, is we can Iono here, set them to 3 cards. We can Grabber, see what they ended up with. We can get rid of that. We should have checked the cards, but I just kind of hit it too quickly. Is there anything we need to Super Rod? Not really at this point. So we can go ahead, Industrial Incisors for 1. The Ultra Ball is not bad for us. And we can 2-head it Crushing. Got rid of the Techno Radar. Got rid of the Arvin. That's pretty big for us. So they'll be on 2 cards. They did top deck into 1 energy. Which will make it so when we knock this out, they'll be able to bring this in. Like unscathed or like with full energy charged. But that's not the biggest deal in the world. It just means that we're going to have to switch in our other Scovillain here. And that's totally fine for us. So what we can do is we'll go ahead and switch. Bring this in. Then what we can do is Ultra Ball here. Get rid of the grass. Actually, we'll get rid of this and this. Grab ourselves our last Scovillain, just in case we need another pivot. We can place this down. We can go ahead and Super Rod back in this, the Skwovet, why not? And 1 more energy. really all that was for is to empty our hand. It didn't really totally matter what we decided to draw. And then what we can do is we can actually go ahead and Misfortune Sisters here. And that's pretty big. We can get rid of all of this. So, counter catcher, not going to be a problem. Granted, they were ahead of us anyway. But, yeah, we just want to remove all that, like, all those options from the board. Now we can two-headed Crushing. Get the knockout here. Alright, cool. So they're going to have one card to work with here. Another Misfortune Sisters. That's not bad for us. Because they can come in and they can attack for just enough, like, enough to do a little bit of damage, but not really anything that'll matter. Yeah, so they top deck an energy. They go for Arm Press. We'll go ahead and Crushing Hammer here, because why not? We don't hit anything, so it's a little unfortunate. But what we will be able to do here is we can just retreat out. Go into our fresh Scovillain. Place the energy down. We can Misfortune Sisters. Get rid of that and that. From here, we'll draw ourselves another card. We'll place the Squwovet down, and we'll reshuffle just to see if we're able to get anything cool. Crushing Hammer. The Crushing Hammer here, if it hits, would be huge. Because it guarantees they can't... well, it almost guarantees that they can't use Ampy very much on the next attack. Or on the next turn. There's another energy gone. And really, why that's important is because even if they get super lucky and top deck like a Boss's Orders or something, they can't use Ampy very much, so they can't end the game. Which is really what we were hoping for. So, like, even if they got the top deck of the Ages and Boss's Orders something up, they'll only take 2 prize cards and not 3. We should have a Boss's Orders in our deck, I think. I don't remember if we lost it. So we'll draw ourselves one. We'll Industrial Incisors. Yeah, there's the boss. So we'll just boss this back up. And we'll take this knockout, making the game pretty much over. Because they'll have 0 cards in hand. There's the other Iron Hands gone. They'll have nothing they can actually attack or play with. So, easy game. Yep. And there's going to be the FF. So, like, not everything went exactly according to plan, but it all kind of worked out in the end. We made the plays we needed to make, and we made, I think, the right plays for the most part. The only things that, like, kind of were iffy there was we missed the 2... Crushing Hammers that kind of sucked, and we didn't get really any big hits on a lot of our items and stuff like that. They also kind of, every time we reshuffled their hand, they just had a, like, double research, so that definitely kind of sucked. But it still worked out anyway, and it kind of shows, like, if we were able to keep the Pokemon League headquarters on board, they literally never would have been able to, like, actually get anything done. And even with that, we were still able to win. So, yeah, that's going to be game 1, guys. Definitely let me know what you think of the list and any changes that you would make, and we'll get ourselves into game 2. See you. Alright, we're into game number 2, and we won the coin flip, so we're going to be going first. We mulligan again. Was this the exact same hand we had last game? I can't remember, but it kind of looks similar. Our opponent is playing some sort of Lost Zone. We both mulligan once, so that's kind of funny. We'll see what we get off the top deck. We have 3 energies in hand. That's not really great. We'll probably Iono on our reversed, like, on our second turn. That's a pretty good opener for me. Means I don't have too much I need to, like, directly worry about. Yeah, we'll just pass our turn. We're gonna end up Ionoing on the next turn, more than likely, unless we draw into something, like, really, really good that we want. But probably not. There's the Nest Ball for another Comfey. I assume they can switch cart. Yep. Go Comfey, go from there. So now they can manually retreat, go into the other Comfey. Let's see, what did they get rid of with flower selecting? One Mew. What was that? The Pokegear. There's an Artisan. That's pretty good for us, actually. And an Iono of their own, so that means we don't have to use one. That's actually pretty good. Depending on what we get here, this could actually be pretty huge for us. The Judge and Buddy Poffin actually isn't bad. Plus the headquarters to bump everything is pretty good. Though they are getting to rotate all their stuff really well. Which definitely puts us at risk of, like, getting knocked out by Cramorant on their next turn if we're not able to evolve. So that could definitely be a threat. We're hoping off the Judge we get an Ultra Ball. That'd be like best case scenario. We can Buddy Poffin, grab ourselves a second Chespakid. I don't know if we need... Yeah, we'll go double chest, double Bidoof. Then we can Artisan here. I don't think we need Manaphy in this matchup. I could be wrong, but I don't think we do. So I feel like we're fine. So we'll go ahead and bump that. We'll place the energy down. We will place that down. We're gonna go ahead and use the Buddy Poffin just to get it out of our hand, make it so we don't have to potentially draw it again. There's our Scovillain. That's pretty huge. We can Crush. Got rid of a Buddy Poffin. Got rid of another Buddy Poffin. Though that doesn't matter insanely at the moment. It's still nice. Oh, and there's our Squirtle. That's cool. Prize card 6, guys. I'm telling you. So we're in a decent spot. We have a Misfortune Sisters for the next turn. We can also Crushing Hammer off an energy if they get into a position to try to Mirage Gate or something like that. Squawkabilly EX is kind of dead in our hand right now, which is fine. We can always use it for discard fodder later. We would love to be able to get into our Bibarel. That would be like our next big thing that we're hoping for. But from here, we're not in a bad spot. Because it's going to still take them time to like set up. And the more cards we're able to discard from them, the better. The only thing that's annoying is like Lost Zone is able to build up massive hands very, very easily. So like even though we're discarding their cards, it doesn't really matter because they're just like building up a whole new hand anyway. But we're mostly looking to remove like things like Switch Cart. And they've already used 3 of them. So that's like pretty massive. There's a Counter Catcher and a Jet Energy. So yeah, they're down 3 Switch already. And 2 Nest Balls and a Gear. Yeah, and 2 Pokegear. And a Super Rod for that matter. So they're losing a lot of their important items. There's the last Nest Ball. So they're going to have a hard time like getting Sableye and stuff like that out. I'm surprised they went with the Hero's Cape and not the Headquarters. I feel like Headquarters would have been the better thing to remove, right? Maybe I'm wrong. What are they going to retreat into? Is my question. I don't think there's really much else they can do. They end their turn. I mean, they could go into Zard and survive a hit. I mean, that's possible. Means they won't have to give up a Comfey. They'll just go down to 3 cards. Hopefully, if they have a switch card, not lose it. Well, hopefully for them, rather. They won't lose it. They'll be able to go back into Comfey, start drawing again. I feel like maybe that was potentially their play. We'll go ahead and Misfortune Sister here. Massive. So we're able to get rid of another. We're able to get rid of the Mirage Gate, a Nest Ball, and the second Super Rod. So they're probably out of Super Rods, which is pretty big for us. We can go ahead and Nest Dash here. It puts us only on 1 card, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, the 2 cards we had were absolutely worthless. Gets rid of a Counter Catcher and a Water Energy. That's true. I guess I could have put Manaphy. That just reminded me. I could have put Manaphy down to disrupt like a potential Greninja play. That could have been an issue. But I guess that's for the future. I'll make sure that I put the Manaphy down just to prevent that, but I kind of forgot they even have Greninja as an option. By the looks of it, this game is pretty over. I feel like they're just going to go ahead and concede. Because even if they go... Do they have enough cards to even, like, try to make a Sableye play? No, not yet. But even if they do, I don't think there's going to be a way for them to get, like, energies down. I feel like they picked a lot of the, like, not the best choices for cards to go for when they were selecting stuff with Comfey. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like they gave up a lot of kind of important cards. We'll see what they do, though. If they draw into double Fire Energy, that could be something. Potentially. But I just assume this game is a wash and they're going to FF, but they're just kind of stalling time. Which is a little annoying, because it's like, you know, never give up attitude. I appreciate it. Stay strong on the mental, but at the same time, like, when a game is over, it's over. You can admit defeat. There it is. Cool. So they just tried to play the timer. Thought, you know, whatever. But it is what it is. That's going to be game number 2. Pretty easy one. The Lost Zone, like, matchups are actually very, very good for this deck. Since you don't actually have to worry about the fact that you only hit for 140. You're still, like, doing enough damage to KO things. You have a bunch of ways to reset Lost Zone's large hands. It's actually not a bad matchup at all. Especially with Pokemon League headquarters, it can, like, really, really disrupt them. But yeah, that's game 2, guys. We'll go into game 3. I'll see you guys there, and we'll see what we run into. Peace. Alright, we're into game 3. We got the coin flip again. We're going to be going first. Our setup is okay for this game. Not the best that we could have asked for. Though we didn't mulligan this game, so that's something. We'll probably... I mean, the only thing we can play is Buddy Poffin. Looks like we're up against Zard. We do open Bibarel, though, and we already have the Switch, so that's pretty good. We'll go ahead and Squwovet and Chespakid. What we'll look to do on our following turn... we're not at threat of getting knocked out, because they can't first turn attack us with anything. So what we can do is we'll evolve into Bibarel. We'll evolve into Scovillain EX, Judge to remove whatever it is that they put into their hand, unless they like kind of low brick themselves. We'll hit the switch, bring Scovillain into the active, and depending on their hand size, we can always Scoville and redraw, or we can just go for a Judge right away, and draw and go from there. So we'll see what they get themselves into. They used an Arven already, so their supporter for the turn is in use. They're still with 7 cards. If they don't attempt to like search too much out, actually, let me check the log. What did they choose to get? Did they just go pure Buddy Poffin? That was it? Oh no, they went. Okay. So we'll do the original play. Evolve here, evolve here. Place that down. Switch. Go here. I think we will just go ahead and Judge right away. Unfortunately, our Squawk is dead again in our hand, which isn't super fun, but it is what it is. We can keep this stuff for now. Actually, it's fine. We can Nest Stash this stuff away, because nothing in it is like that great. Cool, there's our energy for next turn. Perfect, even better. So we can place this down. We'll start to get that set up in the future. We can just go ahead, place the burn down, trap it. It probably doesn't play any switch cards, or like if it does, the Charizard only plays like 1. I would have liked it to keep being burned, but whatever. The main thing is that we stop them from being able to go like Rare Candy, Zard, Energies, Manual Retreat. Which, good thing we did that, because that was exactly the play they were looking to do. And now that they're out of cards in hand. Well, they will be, which is pretty big for us. So what we're going to look to do at this point is alright, if we can Crushing Hammer here and get the energy off the Zard, that'd be huge. Unfortunately, we missed, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. We'll go ahead, manually attach the energy to the active. We'll play this down for now, and then we can Nest Stash here, get ourselves a new card. We're really looking for Misfortune Sister, but we'll see what they have. It is a rare candy. So that's fine. They can't use that, which is pretty beneficial for us. We'll go ahead and Crushing Hammer again. We Tails another time, which kind of sucks, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. We'll hold on to the Pokemon League headquarters. I don't think there's any card in their deck, or like any stadium that they play that would like be disruptive that we would like have to, wow, that's huge. That like would really make a huge difference on if we if we have to bump it with headquarters or not. But it's not the biggest deal in the world. I would have loved if we got both energies off this Zard, because that would have straight ended the game right there. Or even if we just got one. So a little unlucky on the hammers, but not the biggest deal in the world unless they just top decked into the best thing in the world possible. They attack us for 180. We attack back. We get knocked out. We just bring in the next Scovillain and knock them out, and kind of go from there. We'll place this down just because we can go ahead and Nest Dash here. We'll discard the top of their main card, so that's fine. There's the energy we were looking for. We'll Industrial Incisors. We can evolve here. And we'll just go ahead, place the damage. Oh, there's the other rare candy. That's massive. So there's all 3 rare candies gone. If they play a 4th, then not a big deal. So the game's over, by the way. This is why this deck is so good in Dizard. And, like, it's why I prefer to run the Hero's Cape. Because you can run Max Belt, right? And get the instant KOs. But I really don't feel like you ever actually need it. Like, I don't feel like it really makes that much of a difference. We'll go ahead and Nest Dash here. At this point, the Crushing Hammer doesn't really make a difference. We can Grabber to see what they have in their hand. We'll get rid of the Pidgeot. It is Arven and Bidoof. We'll get rid of the Pidgeot so that way they can't go and Rare Candy us. Or search out the last Rare Candy, because I think they do run 4. We'll hit the Misfortune Sister here. Alright, so we don't find that last Rare Candy. But the game is pretty much over. We'll go ahead and Nest Ball out the Chespacid, just so we can start to set up the next one. We will Twin Crushing. Hopefully we hit the Arven. We hit the Bidoof. A little bit unfortunate. But we did get the other Ultra Ball. We'll take the next 2 prizes. And so from here, even if they Arven, they won't be able to get anything. Because, like, they can Arven for the last Rare Candy. But that doesn't help them in this instance, because they'd still need a way to have to search out the Charizard unless they top-decked it. Or even if they top-decked into Pidgeot. Alright, so they're going to go Rotom here. Alright, so they went Rotom. They can Seal Stone onto the Rotom, but what would they search for? They've already used a supporter. It has to be something they can use right now, because they know we're about to discard. Do they do that just so they can get the damage from Heat Tackle? Okay. Interesting play. We'll Squall here, just because if we can get the boss and pull up the Rotom, that would be pretty big. Alright. Crushing Hammer. We hit it now when it's not as important. But we'll get rid of the energy on the back Charmander. Just remove energies from play. We can go ahead and Twin Crushing. The other Super Rod's gone, so they can't get energy back into the deck. No matter what they top deck, it doesn't matter. There's a Misfortune Sister. So, yeah. The game's been over for a little bit now. Because they have to find too many pieces with no way to find them. We'll actually end up attaching to the one in the back for now. And then we can either Misfortune Sister to look for the energy, or look for, like, the Final Rare Candy or any items in the deck. But we want to just see what they have in their hand. And it isn't anything important, which is nice for us. So we can Nest Dash here. Draw ourselves some new cards. We can Grabber, which is pretty big. We'll go ahead and just remove... actually, we'll remove the Charizard, just because that's, like, something that you can just throw a single energy on and, like, be useful. Rather than... Like, the Pidgeot's in hand, but again, I don't think that they have a Rare Candy left to use. So they're going to FF... surrender the game, which is totally fine with me. The Charizard matchup is super, super easy. You just need, like, once you get rid of the Rare Candies, they're pretty much done. You could also run TM Evolution to make it an even stronger matchup. So like the two things that I would say to change this deck if you want a more like directly pure matchup into Charizard to make it even easier, I would say putting in the Max Belt and putting in De-Evolution make your matchup almost like 100% guaranteed win. But I feel like your odds are like pretty much 80-20 already without them, so you don't really need them to like boost that extra percentage. But yeah, that's going to be the game, guys. Game number 3 going pretty well against Charizard, making it look real easy all the way up in Masters tier with no real effort. Scovillain's just pretty broken, actually. Like, it's really good. But yeah, that's going to be the deck, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Definitely let me know what you want to see next on the channel. Definitely let me know, any cards or decks that you want to see featured. Also in that vein, I've been thinking about this a little bit more. I know I talked about it a little bit in the past, but kind of expanding the channel, just kind of having fun with it. So definitely let me know what else you'd want to see on the channel. I definitely want to keep it Pokemon related, at least for now. Maybe I'll do other stuff in the future. But like other Pokemon related content. So either like I've been playing a lot more Pokemon Unite lately, or doing like playing VGC games, or even like just doing like video game playthroughs of the Pokemon games, or whatever that looks like. Definitely let me know what you guys would like to see on the channel, and I can start looking into it more, because it's something I've been wanting to do, and I've just been way too busy. But with the summer semester, like with summer coming up, I'm very excited to have a lot more time and be able to do like way more content for the channel. But yeah, so give me your feedback on that kind of stuff. Definitely let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.